Today at shopdap.com, we're going to be going over xenon retrofits on cars with halogen headlights. Alright, so as we get into halogen versus xenon and retrofitting halogen lights with xenon kits, let's talk a little bit about that. Most people would have a headlight like this. It is a halogen headlight that uses a reflector housing. This is a factory Mark 7 one that would be in this vehicle from the factory, and then this is our Helix light, which we would use to retrofit on this vehicle. This is a replica of the factory Xenon HID. It has LED DRLs and projector housings. On the factory halogen light, so there are legality issues around retrofitting xenon bulbs into halogen housings for one specific reason. Most halogen housings, and there are some exceptions to this, use a reflective headlight housing, which meaning the bulb inside there uses the back part of the headlight with reflectors to project the light of the vehicle. Now what happens is, if you put a xenon kit into this and retrofit a xenon kit into a headlight like this, it's actually not controlling the beam, and so it's throwing the light everywhere on the road, which is those people who you see who blind you on the other way around because they've retrofit xenon lights into halogen housings. It doesn't have beam control, which is what you would find with a projector housing that has an actual a projector lens that actually you would actually see the beam pattern. Xenons you'll actually take a look at when they're projecting light onto a surface like a wall. You'll see that there's a beam pattern across that's almost a complete horizontal line that controls the beam, so obviously you're not blinding people on the opposite side of the road. Halogen housings don't have that, in which case obviously when you have that situation, that is illegal to put xenon kits into halogen housings, which is the reason why on most cars you would need to swap headlights, or some places make retrofit kits that you actually have to chop apart the light to put a projector housing inside of the factory light to begin with. For the most people, this is going to be the most effective and logical way to go, is to go with a complete headlight replacement that is aftermarket. It's fairly cost effective and the way to go. So how would we do that? Most headlights like this do not come with xenon kits available for them from the factory. You would have to buy a retrofit kit. So this headlight would take an H7 bulb, just like the factory headlight here takes an H7 halogen bulb. So what you would buy would be an H7 retrofit kit, which would include items like this. You would have a ballast and igniter, and then in this case you would have something to prevent the bulb monitoring errors from coming on. So you would have a CAN bus setup that you would find here, along with your xenon bulb that's intended to go into the H7 housing. Now, one of the challenges you run into with this is because all of these parts, obviously we see there are a bunch of parts here, they're not going to fit inside this headlight housing. So they have to be mounted externally. So what you have to do is modify the Helix headlight assembly, which has this cover on the back of it, and with by putting a hole in it to give you the ability to run those wires through. Now obviously you need to be able to do that in a way you're not going to allow moisture into the headlight, because that could create moisture issues in the future for you. So what you would do is take a hole saw like this, 1-inch hole saw, find a grommet that's the appropriate size, drill yourself a hole in this cover, and then run your grommet, and then you can put a hole in the grommet to run your wires through the grommet, giving you the seal you need to make this happen. Now once you've done all of that, retrofit all this stuff into your headlight housing, you install it back in your vehicle, all you need to do is make sure you adjust your lights. What I always recommend with adjusting your lights is before, let's say you're swapping from a headlight like this to a headlight like this, pull up to a garage, maybe a little ways back, 5 to 10 feet back, put maybe some painter's tape on the wall or on the garage door to give you kind of your beam pattern, so that way when you swap in your new headlight housings, you actually know where your beam pattern needs to be so you can readjust them properly. Hopefully that helps answer questions around retrofitting xenons on any vehicle, including the Mark 7 GTI. Thank you so much for watching our xenon retrofit video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more like it.